We are recording now. This is a public meeting. This meeting is recorded, and the recording may be made available on our YouTube channel. So please only say things you're comfortable with saying on a public meeting. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, Scott.
So I think what we'll do today is we'll start with status reports like usual, and then we will, after that's done, we will discuss the proposal that Chip made last week during the VOLTHA call about how the Tibet adapter does statistic collection and reporting. But let's start with status reports. Starting with Ganesh, if you're ready, Ganesh.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Can I share my screen quickly?
Sure.
It is, yeah. So in continuation to the discussion last week, we were talking about, I hope my screen is visible. We were talking about the deployment per pod, one pod per topic. We need some more clarity, but what I came up is instead of each topic, how about categorizing based on the nodes? For example, VOLTA KPIs. Let's say the VOLTA is published on multiple topics, so all those topics can be grouped. And this is the diagram I came up with. On the left side, we have VOLTA. It should be VOLTA only, that box, yellow box. And all the KPIs are passed to, let's say, two topics. So all these two will be clubbed together, because what I understand is currently we have only two or three topics. All right, and the only reason here, the flexibility I could see is it will be more complicated. The project structure will be will be different if I go with every topic. So instead of that, I thought if we can group those topics. So that is the new thought. Otherwise, deployment per pod per topic is what I am working on. Started on how I can pass and make different files, different YAML. If somebody has some thoughts on this, it would be great pointers for me to move on.
Yeah, so I was thinking this would be entirely determined by the operator, just how he wanted to set up his Helm charts. That the way you've designed it with the configuration file, it's just a matter of supplying the right configuration file via the config map to the Helm chart. So someone can configure this any way they want. I don't know that we need to endorse a particular configuration as being the one to use, because someone may be happy in a test environment setting up these all to run in the same pod, whereas an operator may want pod per topic. What are other people's thoughts on this? Yeah, I wish we had David. He's one who loves to talk about Kubernetes and Helm charts.
Okay.
So he would possibly have an opinion on this. I'll ping him and see if he's around this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine though. Like I say, I think it should be configurable and specifiable by the operator ultimately how he wants it organized.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So, yeah. So maybe we will come up with something else. How we can pass and the configuration file we are putting together, or instead we might request the user, I mean the operator, they can come up with the different files in that case, so that it will be perfectly one pod for each topic instead of grouping this way.
Yeah, I think that coming up with a proof of concept that demonstrated one pod per topic, I think would be great. That we could show off that our solution's flexible and can do that.
Yes, fine, Scott. Yeah, maybe I'll come up with something in that. this week I'll spend on getting this tested and working on my setup.
Yeah, that sounds great. And if there's anything I can
Yep.
do to help or to try it out or anything, just let me know.
Yes, sure. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Scott. That's all.
Sure. Onkar, how about status on what you've been doing?
Yeah, hi all. So basically, as a part of like on-demand OMCI actions, test action, I have a test action can be implemented in Volta 2.0. And to like couple of days back, I was trying to pre-provision OLT using 2.0, and it worked for me with the predefined images, whatever the images currently have in repo. But when I tried with building the local images for the development purpose, I got some of the error related protobuf. So I have posted the error on Slack Volta group. I'm expecting some reply on this because it is something which is blocking me currently. And the second part would be when I was pre-provisioning OLT with the predefined, like with the images that is available on repo. I could not able to see the KPIs because I got some core proxy related errors also. So that part I'm just trying to resolve it.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at the comment on the Volta Slack and see if I can help there. We have a lot of us at ONF have been picking up 2.0 the last couple of weeks, and we have some experience building and deploying it. I'm not sure the status of the KPIs and stuff in it. That's not something I have looked into. So yeah, I can take a look at that as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be good to find out to what degree those are supported in 2.x. Anything
Yeah.
else on car?
No, that's it from my side.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have, I don't know if I see Dinesh. Do we have anyone online who can talk about the redfish importer?
Hi, this is Tashkun.
Oh, hi, Taskin.
How are you doing, dude? We've discussed with the plans that you guys have discussed with Dinesh earlier about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago maybe regarding how to test it. I really wasn't happy with the modifying the code, doing the demo, given the fact that it's not really reproducible. So we put together a testing harness where there is an entity is an executable that acts like the gRPC server for the our importer, like imitating the NAM interfaces plus the exporter. So it sets up the importer and receives the data from the importer, just like NAM and exporter are going to act like. The code is in the code review right now in Garrett. Dinesh is on vacation, so he's not going to be able to do the demo this week, but maybe next week we should be able to go down to give you guys a demo. But the source, the code is ready. We are going to go ahead and integrate that code also into our automated test harness so that we can set up the entire environments, run the tests, exercise the functionality in an automated way. We should be able to go down to probably next week. I don't know if he's going to be able to do be prepared for the next Monday, but sometime next week we'll definitely be able to do at least internal to ONF the demo.
Okay, so perhaps on one of the Volta calls, like the Thursday call, perhaps.
Yeah. Thursday is for sure.
Okay, yeah. So you can work with scheduling with Julie as appropriate on that. Yeah, thanks for that status report. I'm happy to hear things are coming along on that. This testing harness and stuff sounds like the right way to go. Yeah, and then I was just going to say, let us know what we need to integrate into the NEM eventually to support it inside the NEM.
Yeah, we've already talked to Matteo, so he knows how to integrate it. And we're going to have the sample code as well. I think the most the more intricate part is going to be how to create the CLIs to configure the importer itself. But other than that, it's a simple API to set enable disable functionality.
Okay,
But
great.
we've already talked about it.
Great,
we need
great.
to go and talk to exercise to get the integration done. Who should be the right contact? I'm pretty sure the knows it. I just don't know.
Yeah, if you could just bring it up on perhaps on the SEBA Slack channel, we can see about scheduling in scheduling that into the work. Yeah, we're currently tasking ourselves to work on Volta 2.x and such. So yeah, mention it in there, and I'll make sure we get it brought up with Sarab that someone can help out with it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, just a moment. I'm taking some notes. Does anyone else have any other status you'd like to discuss on any topic? Okay, so the next thing up, I will take presentation rights back and share a slide. Just a moment, change presenter to myself. Start sharing. Okay, you guys can see the slide that I have online there. So what I've done here is I've summarized Chip's proposal that was made on the Thursday meeting of last week. So Chip, you're online, so you can let me know if I've missed anything here. I kind of tried to distill it down to just one slide, and I think the proposed.
Yeah, it was mainly a discussion on how I implemented it, not necessarily a proposal, but I'd be happy to offer it as a proposal if that gives if people are thinking that it's a good start.
I think it's great.
Okay.
Yeah, so the things I like about this is that it, just a second, let me close the office door. Out. The things I like about it is that it feels like this is this can be done sort of optionally. So every driver can at least report via the KPI what it collects, whereas the way you're doing it imposes a sort of extra layer of discipline where you blind up the collection intervals with the bucket interval. So we can kind of migrate drivers to this additional functionality over time. At least that's sort of my gut feeling about it. You managed to do all of this while remaining pretty much compatible with the existing KPI format. Is that right?
Yes, pretty much. And I think the two things I would add is maybe have a minimum bucket interval of 1 minute and a minimum reporting interval of 5 seconds. Because outside of that, I think you really you're into the on-demand area.
Yeah. So let me note these here. Minimum of 1 minute and minimum of 5 seconds.
Yeah, and I think that should help bound some of the testing and so people don't go too overboard.
Right. So yeah, I would like to proceed with this as an official proposal, whatever the next step we need to take, bringing that to the group. Yeah, I don't think we have really anyone here who probably wants to debate this. I think we need to get maybe on a future call Michael and David together and see if we can kind of agree with this on sort of it seems like a good compromise of everyone's requirements and wishes.
Yeah.
So,
have we had any feedback from any of the people that that use the OpenOLT device adapter? Since a lot of this is in the device adapter, so I don't know if that's too much overhead, too much work for those, the hardware underneath it, or if it sounds okay.
We've not, I don't think we've had any feedback from anyone on it yet.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe if we took this to the mailing list, maybe we could solicit some more feedback on it. Sean has arrived. So that he would be the perfect person to weigh in on this. Can you hear me, Sean?
Yes, I just got on.
Yeah, so what we were talking about doing is taking Chip's sort of his description of the work that he did from last Thursday's meeting and make it into an actual proposal to get feedback from people whether we should standardize this across adapters. I've kind of summarized it out here, one slide's worth based on what Chip presented last week. I think the value of this is that it sort of remains compatible with existing APIs while allowing us to migrate additional adapters to support this bucketing over time. So our next steps would be perhaps to write this up and to get it to both the device vendors and the operators to get their feedback on it. I was wondering what you would think on that, Sean.
No, I think that's a good plan. I have not listened to the recording, Chip, last Thursday. I just got back. I love Chicago. So I just got back. One thing is, Chip, I don't know whether does the OpenOT adapter support this? Or
Yeah, well, their current the Python version supports, the VOLTHA library, so that's the basic underlying pin. But what I've done is, I've got a base class that basically drives this within my adapter. So I don't think the Golang has something equivalent, but it's sort of fairly straightforward programming. So I think the Go language people should probably have pretty easy time implementing it if they'd like to.
And just a little bit wondering, so maybe Julie was Girish or Amit was on the call last Thursday. Did they have any comment what I'm saying?
I believe they were both on the call. I think his presentation was generally positively received. The example that he presented.
Okay.
Chip presented.
But one thing is, is that the edge core box need to do on their driver side? Do they need to enhance it in order to support this?
Since the Python VOLTHA and the Python driver used to be able to collect these statistics, I think they have most everything there, within the OpenOLT driver.
Okay.
Because I've known they've shown statistics at various demos, which are all driven from this.
Yeah, I don't know whether that statistics is a current counter or it's a accumulated counter in some way.
I
think the driver has to be modified a little. Still.
Yeah.
Tess, can you say that again?
I think the driver has to still be modified.
Okay.
It's not. I don't think that that's complicated, but it needs to be modified.
Pascal, is there something you can find out?
I know it needs to be modified, but I will schedule. I will talk to Jason to help you guys out.
Yeah, if you can bring it back and then ask Jason, and then you don't have to modify it right now, but I just want to know what's the impact to the existing the driver side. That'd be great.
The more important question in my mind is, and we've been discussing this with the Wednesday meeting as well, which branch should we support for these new activities going forward? Like, for example, we are doing the integration with Bulk 3.1, and I think we're going to be integrating into one of the 2.x's.
Yeah,
right?
we're just going to get into it faster.
Yeah, but the main activities are still happening in 1.7 because it's the most stable branch. Where do you want these changes also be incorporated? Is it going to be one of the 2.x's or we could still do it on 1.7?
My goal is we should put this one in the 2.x. This really Scott, all the work right now we're doing this right now is, I think, can be separate from the CBA, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, several of us at ONF have been tasked to work on the 2.x effort, and CBA as a whole is still working with 1.x, and I don't have a date on when CBA is going to be brought up to work with 2.x. So I think we would have to do this stuff here without having CBA proper. It would just have to be done on like David's kind Volta environment that he has.
Yep.
Something like that, and that can be rolled out on real hardware. What you end up with is a Volta, an Onos, a Radius server, sort of everything you need to get Volta and associated stuff working without having CBA itself. So I think we could do this work in that context.
Okay, yeah. So Tuscan, that's a very good question, and I think the project itself, we need to make a clear direction for marching forward. But I think that's I think that's separate from my question back to you is, if the driver need to be done, what scope or to what extent it needs to be done. So
Absolutely. Okay. Do me a favor. Do we have any documentation for this? And I know we looked at some presentations, even maybe the presentation. If you guys can send me the links where we can download that, I'll send it out to Taiwan. We'll get some estimates.
Okay. I'm also hoping the Deutsche Telekom would provide some feedback, and I don't know whether. But anyway, so Scott, back to you. I think since last Thursday is very generally accepted, and then I can definitely take whatever refined version, and then we can start working with other service provider. At least we inform them, and then also the vendors. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's the next step.
You have a good point. I think you have a good point. Let's summarize what we have, update our presentation, send it to Dutch Telecom, Turkish Telecom, of course copy us as well. While the Dutch Telecom, Turkish Telecom are given, or AT&T are given some feedback, we can start looking into what it takes to implement it on our side. Would that work?
I think that sounds good. So when you say summarize, so should we take Chip's proposal here and do a short write-up on it, or are you thinking we sort of send this slide deck?
I mean, you get the slide deck, do a summary on what the current proposal is. You just combine the two and send it out to what they call Dutch Telecom and Turkish Telecom, AT&T. Michael, I'm pretty sure he's going to have feedback. In the meantime, we'll use the same information to come up with some estimates.
Okay, that sounds great. So I can work on taking this slide here on Chip summary and filling out a little more detail about it, and then maybe send it past Chip for a pass to make sure I got it accurate. Does anyone else have anything else you'd like to discuss this morning? I think we really don't have people that we need to be able to openly debate this any further. I think the next thing is to get this in front of the operators, as we're suggesting.
I'll give my best to get them aware again.
Sure.
Okay, and I think Bjorn is back this week, hopefully. So I'll go on his route. Great.
I suppose one way to get them involved is to just start churning stuff out and have them all object to it.
Exactly.
Actually, It is true.
Yeah, that's how things get done, right? So okay. Hey, Scott, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Chip.
Yeah. Thank you.
And if there's nothing more, we'll adjourn this morning. Does anyone else have any other business you'd like to discuss?
Only half an hour. I'm happy.
The only thing, sorry. The only thing is, sorry. Are there any demo happened here? Can we also do again in the VOLTHA calls? What do we have a demo last week? We did something last week, right? I don't remember now. Or 2 weeks ago. Or maybe that was a AAA stuff. Okay, forget it. I'll send out an email. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, I think the next demo is Dinesh and Taskin may do something with the redfish importer, maybe as
Okay.
early as next week, but to be determined yet.
No, let's say next week.
No,
Okay, Taskin, you're hooked for that. Okay.
It is for next week. I don't know what the date is going to be. He's going to be back from vacation on Saturday. If you can prepare the demo by Monday, we'll do the demo on Monday. Otherwise, we'll do it Thursday.
Okay. Okay, great. Thanks so much. Bye.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.